As you know, the Quran is a blessing from Allah for all mankind. No amount of worldly wealth can replace it. It is a piece of cure which brings blessing in the both of the word through its recital, just looking at it, listening, or teaching or practicing its command. The first descent of the Quran took place on the night of power, which is Laylatul Qadr, and the Quran is in the fact of the word of Allah, and it is preserved in the guarded tablet, Luh Mahfuz, as stated in the Quran itself. Then from the guarded tablet, Quran was sent down in 2 stages to Baitul Izzah and revealed to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, bits by bits, as needed until it was complete in 23 years. Here's the dalil about the Holy Quran descend at once. The first one is شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن. The word شهر رمضان and the word أنزل فيه القرآن show that Al-Quran was descend in Ramadan. And the second one is إنا أنزلناه في ليلة القدر. The word Laylatul Qadr is referred to a night in a month of Ramadan, and the third one is Inna anzalnahu fi laylatin mubarakah. The word Laylatin Mubarakah also referred to the word Laylatul Qadr, which has the same meaning. From the first perspective, Mazhab Awal Tanzilani, the narration of Ibn Abbas and the majority of scholars only indicates the first descent took place from the guided tablet, which is Luh Mahfuz, to the place on the heaven of this world called Baitul Izzah, also known as Baitul Ma'mur, which the place is worship of the angels. And so I put the preposition here, and that means the Quran was descend at once to worldly heaven or Sama'ud Dunya, and then descend in 20 years. Descend on Laylatul Qadr. The word Laylatul Qadr here shown that Al-Quran was descend on the night of Laylatul Qadr. The second mazhab, or the second perspective, Marrah Wahidah, narrated by Ash-Sha'bi. The descent of Quran started on the night of Laylatul Qadr in Ramadan. Then the Quran descended gradually according to the suitable reason for about 23 years. This also shown that Quran was gradually descended to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as stated in Quran itself in Suratul Isra, وَقُرْآنًا فَرَقْنَاهُ لِتَقْرَأَهُ عَلَى النَّاسِ عَلَى مُكْثٍ وَنَزَّلْنَاهُ تَنزِيلًا. The third perspective, or Tanzilani, the Quran was descended to worldly heaven, or we call it Sama'ud Dunya, on 23rd day of Ramadan, and every portion descended on every night was be appointed by Allah. The portion of everything happens during the year, including the verses, ayah portion, was appointed by Allah on the night of Laylatul Qadr. So why is named Laylatul Qadr? The word Qadr shown us that this night Allah said the portion of everything happens during the year. And the last perspective, the fourth one, is also known as Tanzilatul Salasah. Why it is called Tanzilatul Salasah? Because there's also some scholars said that descent of Quran at once from Luh Mahfuz. This is the first point, and the second point is from Luh Mahfuz descended to Baitul Izzah, and then descended gradually to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. There's 3 steps involved here. Debate opinions of the perspective. The second perspective narrated by Ibn Sha'bi and the first perspective narrated by Ibn Abbas doesn't have any discrepancy on Quran's descent. Both of them say that Quran descended gradually on Laylatul Qadr in the month of Ramadan. The third perspective was an agreement by the group of interpreters or Mufassirin. There's no any preposition or dalil regarding this. And the next one is the fourth perspective didn't have any contradiction with the most rajih perspective stated the Quran from the Luh Mahfuz and then descended at once to Baitul Izzah and descended to the worldly heaven or Sama'ud Dunya. As stated by Ibn Abbas, it happened on Laylatul Qadr. After all the perspective and mazhab stated, the writer's decision regarding this issue is Al-Quran was descended Tanzilani. The first one is descended at once from Baitul Izzah to the worldly heaven, or we call it Sama'ud Dunya. And the second one is the descent from worldly heaven or Sama'ud Dunya to the earth gradually in 23 years. This also happened in the night that we call Laylatul Qadr. So the next one is gradual descent of Holy Quran. In Arabic, we also call it Nuzul Quran Munajjaman. The word Munajjaman also can be replaced with the word Mufarrakan, which is means gradual. And the Quran was descended gradually in 23 years, which is 13 years in Makkah and 10 years in Medina. Allah stated in Quran about the gradual descent in Surah Al-Isra. As you can see the dalil here. And the next one is the other kitab Samawiyah like Taurat, Injil and Zabur were descended at once, while the Holy Quran was descended gradually. This is the difference about the others kitab Samawiyah and the Quran. As from the gradual descent of Holy Quran, also known as the hikmah from Nuzul Quran Munajjaman. The first one is calming the Prophet Muhammad SAW souls. Rasulullah faced many obstacles during his da'wah. So the Quran descended to calm him by the ayah of the Quran itself. The second one is showing that Quran was words of Allah and a miracle that no one can copy or recreate. For example, there's a story where the snobbish people tried to recreate the surah in Quran according to Surah Al-Fil, but using a fraud version. It is is a funniest one. And the third one is easy to understand and memorize the Quran.